good. It's truly frightening.
This isn't a plan.
Gives you a home.
Oh man, I got this. Take one for me too, man. Yeah. Stop it!
What's up, Harbor Fiends? It's still October. That means Halloween is right around the corner. But before we get to that mighty 3-1, we are going to be discussing one of our favorite anthologies we love to talk about on this channel. And it is found footage. So what does that mean? Of course, we got Angel from Voices from the Mausoleum. One of our, I think, our very first guest we've ever had on this show, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And here we are all these years later, still with us. What's up, Angel? How are you?
I'm doing good. It's cool to be returned specifically for this, for what we're going to be talking about tonight. Because I mean, found footage is like totally my jam. So always excited to come back and chat about it with you guys.
It would be incomplete. It's like peanut butter and jelly. So here we go. Tasha, the Sinister Scoop. What's up? How you doing, Tasha? If Tasha's not here, in case you haven't noticed, Joe is missing. We'll get into that. It's a little running gag. But how you doing, Tasha?
Good. I can't remember which edition of VHS it was, but I came out and talked with that one, so I'm excited.
I think we did 3 of them, right? We did the 90s and the 80s one. So it's probably
the 90s. The one that had the Medusa. I can never keep them all straight.
99.
Yeah, that was 99.
Okay. Yeah, that one. So this one, I'm excited.
Oh, let's go.
Obviously, I had to make sure Joe wasn't here.
She won't be taking any negative comments either. I can already tell you.
Oh, right. Well, we get the villain up there. What up, JR? The man, the myth, the legend.
If Tasha was a villain, she'd be called the Bringer of Storms. Because we'll keep talking about that later. It's going to be a recurring theme throughout this episode.
Yeah. As we record this, what's it called? Milton?
Milton.
Hurricane Milton just ravaged Florida, and unfortunately, 2 of our Harbor Fiend members live there. They're both okay, thank God.
Yeah.
And but yeah, Joe, we'll see you next week, hopefully. I won't be here for the next one, maybe, depending on when these episodes drop. But you'll have Joe. Anyways, with that being said, let's get this one started. Let's go. VHS Beyond. One thing I love about this series is, at least with the last few incarnations, they're themed, whether it's the 90s, the 80s, now we got sci-fi, we got aliens. Holy shit. When I first heard about that, ooh, man, my ears were like, bing. So I'm going to start with Angel. What we're going to do here, a little bit different for this format. We're going to talk about our favorite segments and our least favorites, starting with the segment we all thought was the strongest in our individual opinions. So, Angel, we're going to start with you. What jumped out at you?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite, pretty much bar none, is Live and Let Dive, which is the 3rd story in the one about the air. What's it called? Skydiving. It was my favorite. I think anybody who knows me really well knows that I have a mad love for alien stuff. It's actually something Tasha and I have always had in common, because that's sort of what we bonded over. I think one of the first things. And so anything alien related, I'm on board, but I'm also absolutely terrified of heights, like irrationally so. And so when it started out, they were like in the plane, I was immediately on edge. I was like, oh my God, what is about to happen to these people? But no, that was my favorite one. I think it's a batshit crazy story, but it had such cool visuals for me, because it's such a different perspective of seeing, an alien or a spacecraft, because they're in the air, they're right next to it. I just haven't seen anything like that, at least nothing I can think of off the top of my head. And so I really loved that. I loved the look of the creature in this. I love the body horror in this. It literally is chaos pretty much from beginning to end. And it had, I think a pretty easy to predict ending. I don't think the ending was anything, super special, but I just loved the delivery of the chaos. I thought the screaming was super intense. The gore was super intense. The aliens were super cool. And then they just kept making the alien like scarier. Like it was started out, you see this massive hand and you're like, oh shit, right? But then you see it looks like a giant ass like bug, like its legs are like, so that was also horrifying. And then it was like the thing in the middle, like, the whole like everything about it was like horrifying. And like the way that this guy like finds his friends and his girlfriend or fiance or wife or whoever she was, literally in pieces. And then the last little bit of it, I absolutely love this one. It was chaos from start to finish. And it was the one that left the biggest impression on me overall.
Absolutely. I mean, I will keep it short because that's my favorite as well. That segment pretty much highlights and amplifies what this series is about.
Yeah.
From all the segments in this film, I think this one felt more VHS like than the others. It was definitely chaotic. I love when they got blown from the fucking sky when they ran into the spaceship and they're falling.
The parachute.
Yes.
Oh.
This is anxiety inducing for me. JR knows I suffer from that. I'm watching this and I'm in that plane. And the way our I think Zach was his name, and Logan, his best friend, kept propping him up. And I'm like, I will be Zach when he was like, I'm freaking out, guys, I'm freaking out. I would maybe everyone's excited. I will be the one. I'd be like, no, I'm not going. No.
Angel wouldn't be in the damn plane.
And then when the pilot was like, we got 3 more minutes. I'm like, oh my God, why 3 minutes? 3 more minutes of this? I can't take this jump out of it. I can't.
Just get it over with.
I can't. Director Justin Martinez did this segment. I'm not familiar with him. If anyone is, I'll chime in. But
I think he's just an indie filmmaker, so relatively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk more into this one, but before we do, I want to go to Tasha. Tasha,
Man, I went back and forth on this one because I'm kind of torn between 3 and 1. I think
talk about 1.
Well, with 1, like I really love kind of the video game feel to it.
Oh, that one is called Stork.
Yeah. I was so bad with the segment names. I'm just like,
I got you.
We just recorded about this, so I can help too.
Yeah.
Lord knows I need all the help I can get. Yeah, I loved like the video game feel, like the dialogue and everything felt very gamey.
Yeah.
You've got like the super stereotypical cop characters and the way the villains, the creatures, whatever you want to call them. I mean, I guess they're kind of zombies. The way they pop out, going level by level and everything else. Like it just felt like watching somebody play a game, which I really enjoyed. But 3, like, as much as it seems like it should be super obvious to do something set in the sky for aliens, like we've never seen it.
Never seen it.
So
good shout. You're right.
Yeah.
It was genius. Like you would think, okay, you're in the sky. We do space, but like nobody really seems to kind of get that middle territory. So it had never crossed my mind. And I was like, holy shit, like this is brilliant. And it is. It's like chaos from start to finish. The body horror when he's trying to shift the truck and his hand is all blown up.
Fingers
that's what makes me cringe. Is that?
Yeah,
it was rough.
Yeah,
that was probably like the roughest part of the movie for me. Was this poor dude trying to shift this truck with that hand?
Fuck. Hey. What the fuck was that? Oh, Jesus, here we go. Get ready. Another one down.
To go back to Stork for a minute, you mentioned video game, like, and it's funny because that's my number 2 favorite.
Mine too.
And as I'm watching it, I said the same thing. Like whoever edited this piece did such a great job at getting that video game aspect. Whenever they're cocking the guns and it switches over to another camera angle,
and the shifting of the camera,
everything was perfect. Yeah. All right, JR, how about you, brother? What you got? You gonna break the cycle, bro?
No, I'm kind of stuck between 1 and 3 because
good. That's dude.
Because the thing
top
too
two.
is
Top 2.
What I like with 1 is the immediate hook was the fact that there's 17 infants missing. So they hook you with the story, and they hook you with being sympathetic with one of the characters, was a loose cannon on all of them because his daughter happens to be one of them. So
Yep.
I like the fact that they did that. So they actually set up a good story real quick, a good hook.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, come on, man. When he tells you, yo, go get the chainsaw. I'm like, all right, this is about to go crazy.
Yes.
And I love the gore. It was done perfect.
Wild.
Because they could have gone over the top, but it was done just right the way it should be. And even at the end where the stork gets it, you're like, all right, they fucking left the stork is still alive and squish his head.
They came back. Yeah. There's like it's VHS. There's no sequels here.
And then the scene where they're standing in front of all of them at the house. That's like something you see in a video game.
You know what's crazy about that segment when I'm watching it? The first thing that popped into my mind was these guys are fighting these crazy ass monsters like nothing. They're not questioning anything. Like
they're just doing it.
What the fuck? But then at the end we realized they're monster hunters.
They're monster hunters.
That's their fucking job. And then when the guy, I forgot his name, but the main cameraman, when he's looking through the little file, they're called Warden. I don't know what it stands for. It reminded me of that show. What was that show? Shield or Cops or some shit. Like, fighting crime in the future time. Cops. That's what it reminded me of. Man.
Well, what I like about 3 was the hook they had before the segment even played. When the guy was saying that, you know, we know we're not alone, and the visitors, well, they might not be too friendly with us. So they already gave you.
You mean the interlude, right?
The
before
interlude,
the segment started.
Every single interlude
led into
you
that
a hook that basically is setting up the foreshadowing for the next one.
Good shot. You're right.
And that one was that one, but the fact that they're already telling you there's stuff in the skies that people are watching and they're not friendly. So bam, immediately right into that. Like same thing. I'm afraid of heights. They would have never convinced me to get on that.
Never.
Plane. I would have never made the
Not
trip.
once.
Nope.
The plane's going down. The dude with his leg missing.
Yeah, dude.
The blood is crazy. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was for me the best
good.
scene in that whole thing. His leg is. He's holding on his leg, and all you see is the blood just go straight up.
That was nuts. Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, I mean, it's a toss up between both.
It
of them.
is.
I think they were both good. They both captivated you. And yeah, like the creature effects. The first time I seen the creatures for the first one, their eyes reminded me of They Live. I thought I was seeing John Carpenter's
Bro, holy shit! I swear to you, I said, this design is kind of like They Live, but with a little bit of like a Marlowe type vampire with the sharp teeth and stuff like that. But yeah, the eyes, GR.
The eyes were definitely They Live.
Yeah, I think it's a toss up, and yeah, I think we all agree you go either way for all, 1 or 3.
Yeah. And then when the chute wasn't going to open, I'm thinking, is this the rest of the segment? Is this going to be this person falling and they hit the ground, they die in that tick? I'm like, that's fucking genius. But then it turns into something completely different. Like when the parachute opened and it decapitated Logan. Yes. I'm like, damn.
That was so good. That's genius.
I'm like, once that segment was over, I'm like, oh my god, I need a shot or something, man. I was like,
yeah. So one of the cool things in this one too was like when they're falling off the plane, like after the scene when you see the dudes like missing all the blood going out, the camera pans, and all of a sudden you see the alien on somebody's back, like riding with them. I mean, and the
that's
thing
a
is,
cool shot.
I paused it. I'm like, is that
you're right.
It took me a second too.
Yeah. If you blink, you miss it. Yeah.
That's so cool. Good. Very good. This one was super, super clever. And I think it needed something like this to kind of reinvest my faith in it because I wasn't blown away with 99 or 85. And so I really needed something that got me excited about the franchise again. And I think this was the one segment. This and Stork. I think Stork is also really, really great.
Watching this when you're high. Oh my God. Let me tell you, like I mentioned, that Live and Let Dive, I felt like I was in that fucking plane. I was like, this is the worst time to be high, man. Oh no, I can't. Let's talk about our least favorite segments, whether they're horrible or they just didn't live up, or maybe others were so strong that we had to pick at least. We don't know. But Angel, I'm gonna start with you again. what's your least favorite of the segments here? Well, it's 6, right? Oh, there's 5 plus the wraparound.
There's 5
6.
in the wraparound. Yeah.
Go.
My least favorite is Fur Babies.
Do you know who directed
You mean
that, right?
Tusk?
That's a big part of why I don't like it. Okay, so here's the thing. I realize, okay, that it's like advertised as sci-fi. But what I wanted was 5 alien stories. And so when I got to this one, I was like, it shows like the pet cam on the collar. And I literally I think I texted Tasha. I was like, no shit. Is this whole thing about to be from a pet collar? And I was amped because I thought it was going to be like a pet fighting off an alien. And I was like, I'm here for this. This is going to be epic.
Oh my God.
And then
you need to write that, by the way.
Then that's
what
like,
a concept.
That's not what they did. And let's be honest. Okay, here's the thing. So this was written and directed by Justin Long and his brother. His brother, I guess, was the writer or the main the director, whatever. So basically, they did Tusk. And that's why I had such a hard time with it because I was like, because Tasha said, I think you were the one, Tasha, that said like, oh, that's who did that one. And I was like, so they literally just redid Tusk. And it wasn't even, and when you look at it like that, at least for me, it like really ruined it. But the other thing is, I think genuinely, if this segment had been in any other of the VHSs, I wouldn't have hated it as much. But I was so disappointed that they didn't do something different with the pet collar, and it was supposed to be more like a Frankenstein story, which, yes, technically is sci-fi, fine, whatever. I wanted 5 alien stories. So this one was a huge letdown to me because it just felt out of place. Even being technically labeled as, or could technically be labeled as sci-fi, it didn't feel like it fit the theme or the rest of the stories that we got. And I was so bothered by the fact that there was a big name, which this plays into how I feel about another one, such a big name in an indie franchise. Because VHS started out with indie filmmakers that didn't get opportunities with the big, production companies. And now it's turned into this like thing where it's like famous people that could get a job literally doing anything. And now they're taking up indie spaces. And that kind of bugged me too. So this one bugged me strictly for political reasons.
What's funny, not to interject real quick, you mentioned that, and it's interesting because I caught this, and none of the original creators did any of these segments, or I don't think they're even associated with this movie. Like Ty West, for example, nowhere to be found in this film. Nope. Joe Lynch, nowhere to be found. Like, what happened to all the original guys here? That's true. That's a good show. Yeah, they're not here.
And it's like, and like I said, I think if this had been put in a different VHS movie, I think it probably would have worked a little bit better for me than it did. But I would like, for those filmmakers that are listening, I would like a alien movie from the perspective of a dog collar, because I feel like I got gypped with this. And so, that's my least favorite. I didn't like that somebody super famous essentially rewrote a movie they were already in. And I didn't like that it wasn't aliens. And it just was, and it's not that it wasn't creepy, y'all. It was creepy and the body horror was sick. Loved it. But it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. And so it just left me feeling disappointed.
Tasha Reynolds, The Sinister Scoop. You agree, or you got a different movie in mind?
I'm going to copy and paste all of that.
We talked at length about this. Tasha and I talked about this a lot. Yeah.
Because I said, and well, like Angel said, in any other grouping of segments, I feel like it still could have been good. I still would have been like, oh, look, it's like dollar store Tusk. But it just, even with the second one, Dream Girl not being alien specifically, it still had that like sci-fi otherworldly kind of feel to it.
It was promised as sci-fi, so that would definitely fall in that category.
Yeah.
And then we go to this like humans are the monsters, and also it's kind of hard to be mad at her because she loves dogs. So
damn the humans.
I know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, none of the you don't really get attached to any of the characters in this. Like,
even the animal rights activists, I'm all about that, but even they were super obnoxious.
Care. I didn't care.
Didn't care. I think it was just a really bad, just another time, another place. And I I would have liked it a lot more. Not that I didn't like it. It was still very unsettling and it was still creepy. But yeah, once I registered Tusk, I was like,
Man,
did Kevin Smith give you the okay to do this? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucked. This is weird. We're like all agreeing. But for me, I'll be honest, the minute I saw the storyline, all right, because once again, the hook to the beginning of this was about the perception of what we're actually seeing.
Yeah.
So when you go into that one, it's all about perception.
Mm-hmm.
So the minute I got into that, I'm like, all right, this has no place in here. Why?
Let me ask you, JR. Why was this here? Where's the? I mean, the island of Dr. Moreau, I don't consider that sci-fi. That's horror. So what's up?
It was there. It just wasn't used because the simple fact is twice she called them humans. So for me, in the back of my mind, I was like, all right, she must be some canine race or some shit, alien.
I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, she's the alien.
Oh, that would have been that would have saved it a little bit. That would have saved it a bit.
A little
Because
bit,
she kept saying, you humans. And every behavior they did was because humans do this behavior. So in my mind, I was like, all right, canine race, that weird dude that basically lives with her is going to turn into a freaking dog and stuff.
Bo or some shit.
Bo. You know, and, I mean,
it is Bo.
But I agree, the body horror was great. I mean,
it was.
I like Gary. Gary was cool. The guy who turned that Gary.
The last like few, the climax of this segment was honestly pretty good. It's pretty good.
Creepy.
It was creepy from the collar perspective.
Yes. Oh, dude. Yeah.
And the ring camera.
Oh, and the ring camera.
Yeah, the dude was just picking up, the boxes she left behind, and Gary went in town on it.
Hold on, get it right. That's a porch pirate. Fuck him. I'm glad Gary fucked him up. Yeah, you stealing your mail, bro.
I thought it was a mailman.
No.
Stealing a package.
First of all, you got some sneaky guy walking around like this, right? Got a hat on. He puts his hoodie on like this. Looking like a fucking
I totally
thug,
missed that.
Look at his body language. I was like, oh my god, it's a porch pirate. Get him.
Not for none. If you seen this lady's commercials, you would have been a little freaky going into her house.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So I would have been doing.
She was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, bro. I ain't fucking with that shit.
Yeah, that's about you got there. You realize, how come you have so many dead dogs? Because apparently she had a shit of dead dogs. A lot of dead dogs.
But there are people, to be fair, that when their pets do pass on, they do taxidermy.
We talked about
but she had a lot.
But also, that was the other thing I was hoping. I was hoping that the dog, like the one that was missing, I wanted that to tie into aliens. Like she says, she's like, oh, whatever that dog's name was.
That was Gary.
Yeah, he jumped down and had to get an unwanted visitor, and I was like.
Well, for me, that one, fur babies. What
is going on?
It's strange. It's very weird. Because normally when we do these reviews,
we're so divided.
We're all over the place, arguing amongst each other. But this one is, I mean,
this has to be our own VHS episode.
Yeah. It's just, you know what it is for me? It just did not fit. It didn't, like Angel said. I thought at first it was going to be one of those weird, like, little infomercials within the movie, and it moves on to something else. But then when I saw it was going to be an actual segment, I'm like, all right, there's got to be something like Dream Girl, right? So we're not going to talk about that as much right now. But that one, yes, it didn't feel sci-fi, but she was a robot / android AI, right? That's sci-fi, so that fits the bill.
The theme, yeah.
Yeah, because they never promised, it's all aliens. No, they said it was sci-fi themed. So perfect, that does fit the theme. But fur babies, like you mentioned, it could be on any of the VHS anthologies, but not this one. Like who thought this was a sci-fi story? I don't know.
Please, no.
Tasha, I'm gonna start with you this time. Any anything else you want to bring up? And give us your score 1 through 5, what you felt VHS Beyond deserves, in your opinion.
I'm gonna go 4.5 on this one. And initially, the last one, Stowaway. At first, I wasn't really a huge fan. It felt kind of anticlimactic. But then once I kind of stewed on it for a little bit and was like, dude, like, you know, this technology that she's like, oh, this is the future of first aid. This is going to be amazing.
Ugh.
And then realizing like sometimes it's not the aliens. We have all these like malicious aliens here. And this time it's just human stupidity. Like poking her nose where she shouldn't have been.
Yep.
And, you know, the ship is trying to fix her when she's being ripped apart over and over and over again. But I mean, she strolled right through that door. Like she brought that upon herself by being way too damn nosy.
Let's be real. She deserved
so
it.
I thought it was kind of a nice twist from all of these vicious aliens that are like fucking people up.
Yeah.
To have one where it's like, sometimes it's not the aliens.
Yeah.
A little self-awareness.
Yeah.
Angel, how about you?
I would give it the same score. I think my score, honestly, though, is really just based off the two that we talked the most about, which was Stork and Live and Let Dive. My thoughts on Stowaway, huge names in horror. Why are they in this franchise? I don't like that. And so, you know, this was the Kate and Mike Flanagan one. And I think the other thing with that one I pretty much agree with everything Tasha said. So the only thing I would add is that I feel like, you know, Mike Flanagan's writing is so good with emotion. He is so good at making you feel stuff. And I don't know why, but it didn't work in this, because at the end of it, you see her daughter's little thing floating. I assume it's her daughter, right?
Yeah, it was her daughter. No, wait, wasn't that her when she was a kid, though?
I thought it was her.
That was her. That was her birthday party that she recorded.
Why did she say there'll be other birthdays?
Well, I think she did something.
There's other birthdays that she has probably.
Because I took it as she recorded over.
She left her family, didn't she?
Yeah,
she left somebody, right?
I think she had a kid.
She left her husband and her kids behind.
Yeah.
So she did.
She did. You're right. It could be Angel. I don't know. I saw it.
I just didn't. But like that part of it, though, I didn't care about. Like I couldn't. I didn't. There was something about it that I just didn't care. I didn't care about the emotional stuff, and that's disappointing, because if you're going to do anything, you know, if you're going to watch anything that Mike Flanagan has written, you expect to feel something. And I mean, I just didn't. That was the only thing I wanted to add to that. And then the only other thing I wanted to add, as like just another thought, I don't think this is one of their wraparounds. The last several have been not super strong, right? But that last like 5 minutes was the scariest of the entire movie.
What an ending, huh?
Being with the black eyes pulling y'all.
I didn't mind it as much because they didn't spend too much time on it, and they did have the documentary aspects in between. And like GR said, those were used to lead you into the next segment, so that made sense. And the funny thing is, that channel, that's a real YouTube channel, by the way.
Yes, it is. I looked it up. I looked it up.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 4 only because like I am a sucker for documentary style found footage, and I thought it started off strong with the basically talking about the aliens are talking about, so it pulled you in. Yeah, that's why I think that one and the Stork worked so well going back, back to back, because it pulled you in. You started getting this whole thing. All right, they're tying the wrap around to this, and the fact that they give you a backstory about this house, which I think they should have added more to it in between. I mean, I see how they got away from it. Like if they would have just kept up talking about the house, but intertwining the fact that aliens. Because remember, they mentioned in the beginning that they saw aliens. There were UFO sightings around this house. But they didn't really mention it anymore until you got to the end.
You're right. Yeah.
When the wraparound was what
happened
to the eldest son. So if they would have stuck to that a little bit more, that backstory about the the history of the family. The eldest son continued tying that in.
I wanted
Well,
more of that.
Yeah, that's what I wanted that so much because I love the fact that they went a different course with it. They actually, all right, you know what? We've been sucking at that in the last 2 wraparounds. Let's go documentary style. People love documentary style.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go tie in the aliens. They should have had the dude from Ancient Aliens. That would have been freaking amazing.
Oh, I would have lost
Bro, I
my
was
mind.
waiting for that guy.
Yeah.
I was
would have
waiting for that
lost
guy.
my mind.
That's a lost opportunity.
Yeah,
I don't know how they didn't think about
The
that.
thing would have ended with him saying, "I'm not saying it's aliens, but I say aliens."
Oh my, and that's it. Cut
That's
to
the
black.
turn off right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 too because it's like I love this segment 5 being the stowaway. See, if I went in knowing that Mike Flanagan had wrote this, I probably would have felt different about it. But I didn't know that until after the fact. 'Cause I don't read before I don't know anything. I want to go in fresh. So I like this segment so much because the sound design and the atmosphere was so good and so creepy. Even though I did not like the main character and that's for a Flanagan script, that's hard to believe.
That's why I think there was
But
the
her-
emotional disconnect.
She was so dumb. Why would you go into this fucking ship? Why would you do that?
Dumb.
It's not worth it. And then when everything is closed off, like, oh my gosh, she's like freaking out now. But I did like the nanobites, the nanotank.
That was cool.
I love the fact that because all the animals that they have in this ship, their DNA is being spliced
Because
over
they don't
and
have
over.
human yet.
Exactly.
That's the whole
So
thing.
every time she got healed, it spliced some kind of animal DNA into her. So by the end, and I loved it when they broke. I'm a big Star Wars fan. So when they went to hyperspace, and every time she go into hyperspace, she gets fucked up and she gets repaired back. So by the time she's like, this is like some mutant. I'm like, damn, that's such an original concept. And you're right, JR. I would love to see this as a film because you do got the backstory there. Maybe we would like the character more if we got to spend more time with her. You never know
She's
because
so stupid.
she's very stupid, but maybe in the writing we would understand her intentions a little bit more.
Yeah.
We never got that. We just got
There's
thrown
not
into
enough
this.
time with it. Yeah.
No, not at all. Fur babies. The only thing I liked about that, honestly, was when the porch pirate came out. He got his. I loved that. I hate porch pirate. I order a lot of shit. I hate porch pirates for the passion. So. And Dream Girl, it's average. I mean, I didn't like that one as much because that one it went too far into finding ways how to break away from the found footage aspect of the film with the music video. And I didn't like any of that. I didn't like that because why did they keep going to it? I don't need to see that. Yes, they're recording a music video, but I don't need to see it.
That part took too long. Yeah.
And it was too long. And then I thought once she was the android, it would be a lot cooler. Even though, she did melt that guy's face. But I've seen so many face meltings in my life from all this weird shit I'd be watching that you need more than that for me on a personal level to like impress me. But I did like it was more international. Yes. I did like that. And the fact with the wraparound was international as well. I thought each segment was going to be from a different country as well at first.
Oh, that would have been a good idea.
But yeah. But all right. So to break it down for me, it's a 4. Like the wraparound, yes, Angel, you're right. They could have done more with it, and GR said it too. But I do like that it did at least elevate the segments within the film as well. So it wasn't a total waste.
That was cool. Yeah.
The first segment, great. Second one again, Dream Girl, that's average. Not terrible, but it's average, on that. And of course, Live and Let Die. Oh God. Let me tell you. Man, this is one of my, not just this movie, as far as VHS, one of my favorite VHS segments. Same. I would say that right now. Same. And for Horse Babies, like JR said, it's a disappointment. And 5, I love the atmosphere. And Katie Siegel directed it. I mean, it wasn't a bad as far as directing.
No.
But I need more to see because it is short. But that wasn't the problem. That wasn't a problem. I didn't find, honestly, I didn't really have too much of a problem other than the main antagonist. I didn't care for it. That's that.
Yeah.
And the abrupt ending was fucking cool as hell. At first I was like, do I like this? But like, wait a minute. That throat gag? Yeah, I like that. That's cool. That's cool.
Really, Tasha? Really? You sent me another hurricane? Well, surprise, surprise, here I am. I wanted to put my 2 cents in, but I had a hurricane that came by and I couldn't make it. But here I am because I want to talk about this movie. The first one that stood out for me was Live and Let Dive. I watched this and I have been dying to go skydiving. That's a big fat no now. I'm not doing it. After seeing this, I thought that this one segment would make, hour 24, an hour and a half movie, all standalone. I did love the action and the pace in that one, but that was one of the strongest ones. Stork was pretty close. I loved the music in Stork. However, Live and Let Dive, the cinematography, the POV of Zach. My son is named Zach. So this was my favorite segment. And then that leads me to my least one. Oh, Justin. I did an episode on Tusk, and soon as I started seeing the episode, I'm like, uh-oh. Or as Scooby would say, ruh-roh. I recognized that this was your episode. And again, not your idea. I did like the performance of the lady who ran the dog place. However, it was almost, God, I hate using this word, kind of a ripoff of Tusk. So it kind of sucks that my least favorite one is from, the horror king or, the Scream man in horror. To wrap up the whole movie, this was probably one of the more stronger ones that they've released in the last couple years. The last two, while having some good moments, it still wasn't great as a whole. Whereas this one, honestly, Fur Babies was the only one that just didn't fit in for me on this one. I liked all the other segments. I did question how they got the camera from the one where the woman went up in the spaceship, but it's horror, so you got to suspend disbelief. Yeah, as a whole, this was a fun one. I rewatched it again and freaking loved Live and Let Dive. Still stuck out there, and then when I rewatched it and got to Fur Babies, I'm just like, ugh. My score for this one is a 4. So check out our next episode. Rick says, stay scared. And I say, ta-ta for now. Tasha, don't send me another hurricane. Seriously, you could have sent the Aurora Borealis my way.
I think it was cool too. Like, we get these crazy alien designs in the first and the third one, and then just to kind of like bring it all back around, we get that like stereotypical gray.
They mentioned
kind of
that
alien.
too.
And it's
With the
just
clicking
terrifying.
sounds. Yeah.
Like
I
that
love
one, that one hillbilly was like, "Yeah, man, there was like these Martian footprints and blah blah," and then she saw the same footprints. So imagine what she was thinking. Like, that redneck was telling the truth.
You know what's funny though? The dude before that, he was like, "Yeah, I seen them real quick. They were over there. Then they went over there. I'm only watching them for like 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Quick.
That's not quick. Yo, Gio, I swear to you, I said the same shit. I was like, damn, that's a long time, brother. That's a long time, dude. That ain't quick. All right, well, guys, thank you, Angel, Tasha. Thank you for joining us on this one.
Thanks for having us.
Next year, if God be willing, hopefully they drop another bomb. Even if it's not as good as we want it to be, it's always something fun to talk about. JR, you never know. You never know.
That's right.
Yes, we'll see. Maybe they'll do like a paranormal one. Who knows? But I don't know.
That'd be
But
good.
that being said, I'm Ricky Van, and that's GR the Villain. And we got, of course, Angel, Voices from the Mausoleum. Subscribe to her channel. And Tasha, the Sinister Scoop. Before we wrap up, why don't you tell the viewers everything you got going? Because I know you do got you got ties to the horror community, so let us know.
Oh my gosh. So we're trying to. I don't know why this question always catches me off guard.
By the way, all the books that we always, like mention and bring up here, our friends are doing a great job. Tasha had a hand in mostly, I think, all of them.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still trucking along with our book reviews. We've got quite a few contributors now. Angel is actually a contributor now with like video game stuff and book stuff. And I think you've done movie stuff. So
I think so.
all
Right?
the things.
Yeah.
We've got like a Throwback Thursday movie review.
Yep.
We had our award show in June. We're going to be doing that again next year. We've been trying to cover a lot of the book conventions and stuff that are going on now that we've got people that actually go to them. And we've got somebody at the Telluride Horror Show right now. So we're getting behind the scenes info on a lot of the new releases that they're showing there. So I'm excited to hear about that.
And your website?
TheSinisterScoop.com.
I'll put it in the description, and of course I'll put Angel's channel in there as well. Thank you both very much, and we will be back very, very soon. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Three Corners of Horror plus our two guests. I'm Ricky Van. Be good, be safe, drink beer. If you don't, drink some water. But most of all, trick or treat and happy Halloween. Stay scared.
I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
It's
Okay.